What's up, everybody? Welcome back to How It's Done. Today we're going to be walking you through how to repaint your front door. This will work front door, back door, side door, any exterior doors this process will work for. If you've got a stained door and you're wanting to go back with a stain, it's a little bit more involved. This video isn't for you, but I'm going to show you the more involved yet cleaner looking way of doing it. You could always just tape off these and paint around it using the tape, but it's going to be a little bit tricky to get into some of these spots, and you're going to have to go back and do some touch-up. I like to just remove the stuff, so we're going to walk you through getting these off the door and painting it new. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is remove all the hardware from the door. So for your people, you basically, let's see if that's going to work. Nope. Alright. So you want to take a screwdriver. There you go. And that'll loosen that up, and the whole thing will just pull straight through the door. Down here on this handle, you're going to have two screws that just hold the handset in place. If you follow the video on how to put these smart keypads on there, that'll explain to you in detail how it goes on. It just comes off the opposite way. And if you've got one of these handles that has the bottom piece on it, over here on the other side, it's actually got this little cover. You can take a screwdriver and pop that off, and then there's just one screw behind that that'll hold it in place. So we'll get all those removed, and then you'll still be left with these guys right here. So you're going to want to just take these two screws out and these two screws out, and the whole thing will pull out, and you'll be all set. You don't want to leave those in, because if by chance the door happens to close while you're out there, you're stuck. Alright, so we got all the pieces of hardware off, and you can probably see I put some little plastic pieces down that I had left over from doing some light trims. So just put something down on the floor to keep the paint from dripping onto it. I don't anticipate that the paint will drip a lot, but trust me, it's easier to prevent having cleanup than having to go back afterwards and clean up. Now, the nice thing about doing it this way is, obviously, if you're painting the front door, you're wanting to give the house a little bit of a facelift. If you decide to change out the handset, the paint underneath here is going to be the same color. You're not going to have to worry about going afterwards to paint it. If you are going to be changing out the handset, make sure everything fits first before you paint. Because if you have to drill different holes or do something like that, you want to be able to touch up and get things painted one solid color the first time. It'll make things look a lot cleaner. So we're going to go ahead right here. You can see they obviously painted this red color around the existing handset, and there's some rough spots here. So we're going to take a sanding block and just sand that down a little bit, make it smooth. Won't take much. Yep, pretty good. Then we'll go ahead and wipe this off with a washcloth or something like that to just get the dust off and get ready to paint. Alright, so to paint this door, I'm going to be using the Sherwin-Williams interior exterior door trim. It's pretty good. It doesn't leave any brush marks. It's very durable, rated for outdoors. If you're doing the doors on the exterior, you definitely want to get something that's set up for outdoor use. I do a lot of painting, but quite frankly, I still ask the opinion of the people in the store. This door is deep red, and I did ask them for something that would do a pretty good job of coverage. I still will probably have to do 2 coats with this, because as you can see, the teal aquamarine color that we're going with, I think it's called seafoam green or something like that. That one is going to be okay, actually it's called Bay Mist. But yeah, this one is going to be very light, so we'll see how well the coverage works on this. Again, I bought a gallon because I'm doing front and back door. I think we're going to have to do 2 coats on each, but let's get after it and we'll see. I'm going to be using a brush to get these areas in here, the little trim pieces, but for the most part I'm going to be using a foam roller. The reason I like these is they don't leave brush marks our brush strokes and give you a pretty smooth, even finish. So with the exception of this part up here, which is going to be a little bit weird, but whatever. So let's get after it. All right, so to start this out, basically just going to get a little bit of paint on the brush, work our way back and forward with it. The brush is going to get more, or I'm sorry, the roller is going to get more saturated as time goes on, but we'll start like this. And then what I like to do is start at the top and just roll down. And the reason you roll down is because anything that might be on the bottom of this roller getting ready to drip is then getting pressed against the door. And actually in those thick spots it's doing a pretty good job of coverage, so they may have been right. I may only need one coat. So we'll go ahead and get these knocked out. And then we'll come back and show you what I do about these little trim areas. So this surface here, we're all going to get that with the roller. Just be careful when you go over the roller on here that you don't splatter it through to the wall. I'm probably going to pull it away from the wall a little bit and just go really light on it. And yeah, take your time, be thorough. Alright, so obviously this is just the first coat, but I think it covered pretty well. We'll obviously need to see what this looks like when it dries, but for the inside edge here, what we're going to do is take a paintbrush like so, put some paint on it, and then just brush it into the corners, and then just work its way back down. Just going with the grain, and then I'll come back afterwards with the roller one more time and smooth out everything to get rid of any bubbles or big areas where we might have some heavy paint. So make sure we get a thorough coat on everything and then kind of even it all out. Okay, so one coat seems to have done a pretty good job of coating it. I really have no complaints. I mean, it's looking good. It's got good coverage. I went ahead and put the deadbolt and the latch back in there. So yeah, we just got to put the handset back on. You may need to get some sandpaper and go in these holes here where the paint may have built up in it, depending upon how heavy you went on there. Maybe not, but maybe. Same thing up here where you've got the sight glass or peephole, whatever you want to call it. You might have to take a little bit of sandpaper and just sand down the edges so that it fits right. But yeah, I'm very impressed with how this turned out with just one coat once it dried. So yeah, this is definitely going to be my paint of choice moving forward. So we'll go ahead and get this put together and show you how it turned out. And here we have the finished door. It turned out really nice. Special shout out to Robert from the Lowe's in Ireland. He recommended the paint, and yeah, it turned out really well. One coat and all. If you like videos like this, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more videos, and thanks for joining us on How It's Done.